All right, here we go. Kind of getting a late start on a rainy Tuesday. We're finally on our way to Moab. Being that Cindy and I have been making an annual pilgrimage to the Promised Land for about as long as I can remember, there really should have been no reason for us to feel the way we were. Kind of nervous, a little giddy, and eager as hell to get out there. Then, we were heading out in our brand new Jeep JL Wrangler, and I suppose that had a way of making this trek to Moab feel as if we were doing it for the very first time. All right, we're almost to Moab. We're about 3 hours out. Maybe racked up almost 525 miles since leaving Carson City yesterday. Amazingly, we're averaging about 14 to 14 and a half miles per gallon, in spite of the fact that I've been doing a lot of this at about 80 miles an hour. I should note that we didn't balance our wheels and tires before leaving, and so far so good. The whole ride out, it's been feeling nice and smooth. Unfortunately, these tires seem to be very round. So there you have it. We're looking forward to testing it off-road. As luck would have it, a few of our good friends were able to join in on the fun, and as you can see, one of them even had a brand new JL Wrangler, just like ours.
How are you?
Great, yourself?
Hello, it's nice to see you. Hey, good to see you. These wheels look super. Wow.
Because these guys are fresh off the factory floor of sorts, so we don't know how well they're going to do, but this is tried and tested. We know this JK is going to be able to take care of us, so thank you so much for being our supporter.
Confidence.
All right, next stop, Moab. Always a welcome sight to see, the Promised Land. Exactly right.
It's colorful.
Cheers! Day one in Moab. Getting ready to hit Gold Bar Rim with our new JL Wrangler and Tony's JL Wrangler. They're twins. I think your Jeep needs a shave. It's got that 6 o'clock shadow.
It does. Stephanie says, how come you didn't wash it? It's the evil twin, I'm telling you. That's...
Well, Tony's gonna be okay. He's a little worried about scratching his windshield. So we're here in Moab and getting ready to test out our Jeep JL Wrangler Rubicon Unlimited now that it's got an Evo 2.5-inch lift installed and running 37 1350 Cooper STT Pros. Pretty excited about this. We just got done airing down. Fortunately, we're here with our good friends Tony and Stephanie, who have a very similar, if not almost our identical twin in terms of a JL. Similar setup as well, but we'll go talk to them. With the exception of the black fenders and not having a winch or new front bumper, it's pretty much running the same lift, relatively the same tires, only in a 1250 size, and otherwise basically the same. Go say hi to them. So Tony and Steph, tell us about your JL here.
Well, this is our new 2018 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon JL, and it's built up a little bit, and we're gonna beat it up just a tiny bit today. Yeah, it's got the KMC XE231 Bobby Gordon wheels and Cooper Discovery STT Pros, the 37 by 1250s, and we're gonna see how they do.
One thing I didn't mention about our Jeep is that we do have the KMC XD 231s as well, but in a machine finish. These, on the other hand, because he's our evil twin brother,
Right.
it's in black.
Black.
Not that I'm trying to say anything, but... All right, so we're gonna run gold bar rim. You guys ready?
We are ready.
Let's get going.
One more thing, I want to talk about the rear tire. That's the
Oh,
important
right,
thing
so
here.
this is important, yes. Our rear tires. Tony here, he pulled some strings that I don't seem to have and was able to get this Mopar hinge reinforcement kit for his tailgate, as well as a relocation bracket for his spare tire. So he's able to carry a 37-1250 tire, and oh wow, that's a tight fit on the
Very
rear bumper.
tight fit.
But it's clearing, it fits, and feels pretty secure. Us, on the other hand, because we didn't have the strings to pull, we're still running just the standard tailgate. LOD was kind enough to send us a prototype relocation riser bracket for our spare, and we have plenty of room to make it possible. And yes, this weird thing right here is a stinger that we installed just to help protect our spare so it doesn't catch on ledges and damage our tailgate that way. We've also made some effort to make sure the rubber isolators are pushing firmly against the sidewalls to help mitigate any kind of jiggling, which also causes damage to tailgate. I'm hoping that this thing, even though it's made out of magnesium and wrapped in aluminum, is going to hold up fine. Everyone's telling me we're going to bust it, crease it, wreck it, tear it, break it. I think it's going to hold up. So let's go find out. Ready? It's just you.
Keep wider, so it feels that way.
Hey, 10-4, that's pretty true. And here we are. Time to drop it in 4 low. I heard a little scratch, and he said he heard a big scratch.
As you guys went up, and it's like there was none of that creaking, squeaking you end up hearing, and I was like, man, God, I wish I had that. And then all of a sudden we go up here, all that stuff.
Like just about every trail out in Moab, Gold Bar Rim is filled with ledges just like this, and they're the reason we made sure to come prepared with a hitch-mounted stinger. Having left his stinger at home by mistake, Tony was forced to rely on his ability to pick safer lines. Of course, Et was running a rear bumper tire carrier and had nothing to worry about. Probably the biggest obstacle on the Gold Bar Rim Trail is a waterfall feature known as Slide Rock. Essentially, it's a big drop off a tall ledge and one that'll leave you standing on your brakes as you skid down its steep face. as it's better to be safe than sorry, Tony decided it might be a good idea to borrow Ed's Stinger for this one. Oh, we got our first rock crash.
Breaks my heart. Damn it. You didn't bring any paint?
I don't think so. Hell of a view, huh?
Wow.
Sure are a whole bunch of these.
Holy cow. That's just. Wow.
Where are we?
We're standing on top of the overlook for Gold Bar Rim. Below you can see Highway 191 and Arch is all the way out there. And it's a beautiful day, even though it's a little bit cloudy, to be seeing this. While the overlook is technically the end of the Gold Bar Rim Trail, we decided to extend our trip a bit and pushed our way forward on the Golden Spike Trail. Golden Crack, one of the most iconic and photographed obstacles in all of Moab, and one that'll show you just how much flex your Jeep really has, or as I'd like to say, how much more you wish you had. There you go, good. You're good. Good. Nicely done. That looks awesome.
Perfect. Good job.
Rather than continuing our way and running the whole triple threat, we decided to turn it around and head back out the way we came. Of course, that would mean one more pass through the Golden Crack. So, you can see that a few times we've caught this corner, most recently of which coming through the golden crack. The worst part about it is if you look up here, the bumper is physically making contact with the body and actually went as high as hitting this corner right here. The whole body mount is moving so much that it allowed for a hit. So this bumper is actually, oh, look at that.
Wow.
This bumper is causing more damage to our body than it is protecting it. The best part about making a return trip along the Golden Spike Trail is that everything we came down earlier had to be climbed up again. And that includes fun obstacles like the Golden Steps. With ledges positioned just far enough apart to make things a challenge, a bit of momentum is needed to get both front and rear tires climbing at the same time. In spite of losing his lockers earlier in the day, Ed still did a great job climbing everything without him. Now bump, 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 bump. There you go. Turning back onto the Gold Bar Rim Trail, we were well on our way to getting off the trail before dark. As before, everything we came down earlier, or should I say, skidded down, had to be climbed back up again. And the most challenging of them would be Slide Rock. Tony, you gotta bump it. You gotta move through it just a little bit like before. Okay, move through it. Whoa. With no lockers and nothing to prove, Ed decided to just pull line and get him to the top. nice to be out of low range and open things up again. All right, we're off the trail. First time in our Evo 2.5 inch lift and running our Cooper 37 1350s. Did great. A few little issues that we came across, but otherwise we didn't have any problems. As you can see, our LOD bumper that we recently installed had a little bit of a hit, but it held up fine. Solid bumper, designed to take the hit. Looked like our rings came out okay. Probably our biggest problem is our rear bumper. As you can see here, I took not a really hard hit, but hard enough that it bumped up the bumper and did damage to our body instead of protecting it.
You got your ring.
Where?
Couple
Oh, I did
places.
get, oh, look at that.
Down there too.
Okay, so I did get it after all.
Okay,
go.
same
We're gonna
as
take a look
ours,
now.
same backwards.
That's the hardest one. No,
Sorry to
not at all.
you.
So, Tony,
What?
how did it do?
It did excellent.
Yes.
I'm very impressed.
So what did you do to it?
Where do I start?
Gotta point it out.
There.
Wait, what happened here?
There. I don't know.
Oh.
You were spotting me when that happened.
Oh!
Let's see. Lots of miscellaneous scratches underneath skid
Yeah,
plates.
that's okay.
Okay.
Rock ring like us.
Lock ring several times. I think you spotted us a couple times. Bumper, which this has got to go. This is the
Yeah.
first thing that's going.
I agree.
It's bad. Bent the hitch a little bit.
Oh, we have that too, but on the
in
other
here,
side.
and here, and the muffler's scratched and dented, and those lower shock bracket got some scratches. And I don't think I damaged.
Oh, I didn't even look at our tailgate.
So let's see what happens when I open this.
What do you think?
I think it's okay.
It survived?
It survived.
All right, on. Was there anything that you noticed in particular, like how it was feeling?
It's different than the JK. I have to get used to it. That whole thing climbing that waterfall with the computer taking over the throttle and feathering the throttle for me when I didn't want it to.
So we were talking about it. You know what I think happened? So what I think happened is you got enough wheel speed that it wanted to shift into third or fourth even. And during that momentary switch is when you lost your power. So that was the issue, because I asked Cindy if she was in drive or if she was in gear. She was in drive, but she was moving through it a little bit slower, so she never got past second, if you know what I mean. So she started in second and stayed in second. So, but I think if you went to that shift point, that's when it like hesitated. I saw it like stopped and then it started picking up again. It was weird.
And as it would do that, I'd give it more throttle, but it wasn't changing anything really. It was just going back and forth.
Huh. All right, so we took a look at Tony's tailgate. It looks good. All the way out, we actually kind of jammed a little bit through the whoops and a little bit of the washboards. So we're gonna take a look and see if our tailgate suffered any damage. Now, again, we did install a stinger just to prevent any kind of clipping or catching of our spare tire. We also installed rubber isolator extensions to prevent and mitigate any jiggling whatsoever. So how did it do? The other tailgate that we've seen damage had a big crease right here. I don't feel anything. I don't see anything. Let me open it up. So on this side too, no damage whatsoever. Everything looks clean. I don't see any buckling. I don't see any denting. Everything's clean and smooth. So contrary to popular belief, everyone says that you're going to jack up your tailgate just by putting on a heavy spare. This one's almost 125 pounds with the KMC XC231. So far, so good. I'm not saying that it's never going to get damaged, it's never going to break, but it's not going to break just by going off-roading for your first time. I think the biggest problem, at least from what I can tell, again, if you catch a spare tire on any of these ledges out in a place like Moab, this thing's going to buckle over and it's going to jack up your tailgate. So in the meantime, get yourself a stinger made. These are pretty cheap. And so far as I can tell, that ought to protect things. It's a hell of a first day.
Yeah.